All right, what's going on, guys? I think we are now live. So I wanted to start off this Q&A with talking about a comment that I got a couple days ago, and it was from. I'm just gonna read the comment right here. He said it's from Shiv Dev. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong if you see this, but he said, "I love your videos, man. I love your drive, but recently I've lost my motivation to dunk. I'm a 5'7" Indian boy. I used to be able to touch rim. Now I can't, and I'm losing hope." So this kind of got me to thinking, and I mean, I took a little while to respond to this because I knew it was going to be a longer response, and it just made me think about things I've gone through with dunking and just working towards a goal and just being on this journey in general. And to anybody out there who is like on this dunk journey or who is working towards any type of goal that seems like it's impossible to reach, or that seems like it's far reaching or it's unrealistic, just know that there's going to be obstacles along the way. There's going to be so much telling you not to do it and just to not and just to quit. Because I mean, when I did the Flight Right program, I know I've talked about this in videos on my channel and stuff, but when I did the Flight Right program, I quit the first time I did it. I did it for 1 or 2 months, and while I was doing those 1 or 2 months, I was like, wow, this is really hard. Is all this work going to pay off? Am I going to get anything from this? Am I ever going to dunk? Like just hearing people say, you're only 5'7" or you're white or whatever. I mean, that's why if you guys see my little logo on my YouTube channel, or just see it like in the background on my end cards and stuff, the shirt that I'm wearing, it says "Accept no limits." And like I don't usually like buy into any shirts or whatever that have sayings or anything, but when I saw that shirt, and it's a Nike shirt, but when I saw that shirt, I just had to get it because that phrase just stood out to me so much, because it really goes along with the mindset I have with dunking, or with really anything I do, or with anything I want to see happen. It's just you can't start to put limits on yourself, because as soon as you do that, you're automatically creating obstacles. You're automatically going to make it harder to reach the goal or to reach whatever you're going towards. Because I mean, just like he said, he got to touching the rim, but then after that, he started to lose hope. And it's at that point, it always seems like it's at the point where right before you're gonna reach the goal that you want to reach, where in this case it's dunking, like right before that goal, he's touching rim, and he maybe has like a few more inches to go before he's dunking, and he wants to quit. It's just it's at that point where it's like it's right, the goal is so close, it's right there, but then again, it's just like all these thoughts or whatever come in and say, don't do this, like don't keep going, you should stop here, you're good, like you're comfortable here, just stay settled and just kind of coast from here. But it's accepting no limits and pushing towards the next step, pushing towards the next goal. That's why like people ask me, oh, what's your goal, or do you have, or like what's your major goal, or like what's your next goal, or whatever. Or not what's your next goal, what's your major goal, or like what's one goal you have. And I can never say I have one goal, because to me, if I say I have one goal, then that's gonna automatically set limits on what I can do after that goal. Because if I say I have one goal, then once I reach that goal, it's gonna be like, okay, I've reached this goal, is that it now? Or like, what am I gonna do after that? So for me, it's just having like a moving target of goals. Whereas if I reach one thing, I know that after that, I'm gonna be pushing towards something else. And then after that, I'm just going to keep pushing and just improving and learning and growing, and just continue to move forward to the next goal, and to continue to push myself. So that's kind of like how I answered that comment. And again, like if any of you guys out there are going or on a dunk journey, or feel like so many things are against you, or feel like you're too short, or you're not the ethnicity, or whatever, like whatever the stereotypes are, excuses, whatever, you can make that for literally almost anything. Like whether you're going to school to just like get a degree, or whatever it is, or to lose weight, you can come up with so many excuses not to keep moving forward, and to not reach that goal, and to just quit. So I mean, really, it can be applied to anything. So my advice or reply to that is just accept no limits, and just continue to work. And even though even though the goal might seem far-reaching, or whatever you're going towards might seem like super unrealistic, or people are telling you, or questioning you to why you're doing it, because like maybe it doesn't seem normal, then that should be, just take that as your motivation to keep going. Because when I realized that, and when I started to take that input as motivation, that's when I started to see, that's when I started to realize how much energy and how much effort and work I really wanted to put into this, because of the things I wanted to see happen from it. So just keep working. Don't let those obstacles, don't let those little negativities get in your way. Just have them in your head, like know that they're there, and take that as motivation to keep going forward. All right, I'm gonna move on to another comment that I got recently. It was actually a comment on the day one workout video I just posted, and it was actually a recommendation for my landing, like how I landed when I like after I jump. And looking back at the video, I do kind of land in this way that this person commented. So I'm just gonna get to the comment right now. It was from Stealth955, and he says, landing with your knees over your toes is a dangerous position considering you're dropping from so high. He said, look up Hoops Movement Landing. There's also a free ebook on landing he made and why basketball injuries happen scientifically. So I did look into the guy he recommended, or the channel he recommended. Sorry about the light. I don't think really bright. So I looked at his channel, and I looked more into kind of how you're supposed, like quote unquote, supposed to land after jumping to avoid, you know, like any knee injuries or anything. And what I found is that the way you're supposed to land is the impact is supposed to be, it's supposed to be equal and spread out, and you shouldn't be landing on the balls of your feet, because if you land on the balls of your feet, then all that pressure is going to go like straight to your knees and your shins. So it's kind of, hey, what's up, Hillel? Guys, it's awesome that I swear you've been in like every Q&A. It's awesome. Thank you for joining. But yeah, so like what this channel talked about is you should absorb the energy, you should absorb the landing and the pressure and kind of revert it to your glutes and just kind of spread it out equally. So absorb it. And he also showed some videos of some guys who have gotten knee problems or had knee surgeries or whatever by the way that they landed. And a lot of them just landed kind of stiff, almost stiff-legged. Like they would just dunk and then just land and then just run after that. So like I said, his recommendation, or in his videos, he just talked about kind of reverting that, the pressure that would be put on your body from landing, to revert that to your glutes mainly, and then spread it out through the rest of your foot and just kind of like equal out the pressure from that. So yeah, so I'm gonna, again, I said I was gonna look back into kind of how I land, and like I don't feel any kind of pressure. I mean, as far as right now, like I don't feel any pressure when I land or anything. Like I really try to absorb it and land softly on my feet rather than just kind of like pound at the ground. Because I feel like I said from his videos and stuff, I feel like if you just land with all your weight and all your energy going into one spot, I feel like that's when like the injuries can happen, where it's just too much pressure is applied to one place, or you twist when you land, or just some awkward motion happens. That's when the injury happens. So I really am conscious about landing and just being light on my feet and absorbing the contact after I jump. So yeah, I wanted to get into the workouts I've been posting this week. I've really been wanting to post these like every day. I've posted a video every day since this past Monday. So I'm going to be posting the day 3, day 4, day 5 workouts in the next 3 days. And I've had some pretty good feedback on those. I know they're a little long, which I apologize for, but I just really wanted to be thorough with the workouts and kind of make them from like a first person point of view, so you guys could really see what's going on in the workouts, and like, you know, even rest times. Like I really try to do minimal cuts within the sets so that you guys could really see like the rest times of taking, like my pauses, just like my breathing, everything that goes into the actual workouts. I just really wanted to make them as realistic as possible so you guys could see them. And also, like at the beginning, I put like the sets and reps and everything. So yeah, again, I just really wanted to make them realistic as possible so you guys could, you know, maybe try them out or apply some of the things I do in them to your workouts, or just really wanted to include everything I do in them and make them really thorough. But one of the comments I got was just, I'm gonna bring it up real quick. Hey, what's up? Hey, LL, have you been doing the hyper arc still? So it's Ayush. I don't know if that's Ayush or Ayush Gupta. He said really what I was expecting. Awesome video, man. Keep up and give novices like us more advice and guidance into getting mad hops. So yeah, I just feel grateful for getting that comment. Um, that's again what I try to do with these workouts is really spread and talk about what I'm doing in the workouts and kind of like I like also point out my weaknesses, because I feel like that's one of the key things in your workouts or when you're working at jumping or technique or whatever. It's finding your weaknesses and really kind of, I wouldn't say like tailoring your whole workout towards them, but making them a key factor in the lifts that you do, because not, I mean, key factor, make them a key point in the lifts that you do, because if you strengthen those weak points, then your strong points, I feel like, are going to get stronger along with that. So with me, it's definitely my single leg. So in the videos, if you guys have seen them, I do a lot of single leg, I've been doing single leg rim touches. I do single leg box jumps. I really try to emphasize the single leg because it is my weakest point, and specifically like my right leg. So I feel like as I strengthen my weaker leg and just each leg in general, I feel like my explosiveness and jumping is going to go up. With that. And Hillel said, yeah, vert is getting better every day. So Hillel, I want to ask you this. So are you actually training to increase your vertical? Because I know you said before that you were doing it, like you were doing the hyper arc, but I just wasn't sure if you were doing it specifically to increase your vertical. Because I've noticed with me, like my feet, I feel like my feet have gotten stronger since I've been doing this hyper arc method that Hillel recommended to me. And I mean, it's really, I mean, I could tell because, I mean, A, my feet are sore, and B, when I apply it to my workouts, I feel like I get so much more push from the ground. And I feel like if Hillel, you want to kind of like say your opinion on this, it just seems like you get so much more force and drive from the ground when you apply the hyper arc to, you know, your workouts, running. I mean, like I said, even when I sit, I'll have I literally have put 2 quarters on the ground to push the ball of my foot into them, just to kind of, you know, again, like while I'm sitting, just to be doing something to actively kind of remind myself and work on something, you know, in terms of like my foot strength and stuff. So again, like since I've been doing this, I feel like I've noticed a big difference with my foot strength and just my strength overall, like the power I get from the ground and just in my lifts and jumping and everything. So, and Paul Foschini, I think his last name is, because he said, he had asked me, I asked him about his journey. He said he's going okay. He's starting to make jumping videos right now. I am just practicing low rim dunking because I don't feel like taking off the dribble. And then he also asked me, like, I've been doing the hyper arc and stuff, and it seemed like he was pretty interested in that and wanted to start doing it himself. So yeah, I recommend you guys trying it or look into it more, because I mean, like I said, I've been really researching like tendons and like how your tendons can have so much how you can apply so much more force if you focus on your tendons and like your elastic energy rather than focusing on your muscles. So yeah, this thing is really interesting if you guys want to look into that. And Hillel said, I'm not focused on vert as much as you, but yeah, definitely. So Hillel, like when you do your lifts, do you still use the hyper arc? Like have you found that there are any lifts you can't really do the hyper arc with? Because probably the hardest lift I've noticed to do the hyper arc with is either maybe deadlifting or cleans might be the hardest. I mean, to keep it engaged the whole time, but I feel like it might just come with increasing my strength in, you know, doing the hyper arc. And my girlfriend, actually, if you guys have seen the day 2 video, it's kind of interesting because she has no arc in her foot. Like her foot is literally like as flat as my hand, just like this. And if you guys watch how she tries to do box jumps in that, she could barely touch the ground and get onto the next box. So I feel like it's really, oh, hello, you don't lift. Okay. So do you just do the hyper arc then and like run and stuff, or you just strictly do the hyper arc method? But yeah, again, if you guys have seen the video, it's hard for her to just touch and go because she has like no arc in her foot. So there's no like elastic energy there for her to touch the ground and come back up from it. And when she started to do the box jump, she was relying on her muscle, and I kind of recommended, I said, you know, think of it like your foot is like a rubber band. So when you land, just explode from there, and don't think about it as you're trying to like you're trying to engage so much muscle or whatever, because you're gonna feel heavier, like mentally you're gonna feel heavier. So when she literally right after that, she did like 10 in a row and said that it felt so much better when she thought of it as like a rubber band rather than just like trying to muscle up jumps. So I feel like it's really interesting. And Hillel said, I run and jump with it. Okay, yeah, because like I said, I've been running in my warm-ups. I do it in my jump roping, especially. I really try to engage it because like before when I would do jump ropes, I feel like I would be on my toes more. So I would really just focus on like leaning forward and getting as much speed as possible, but I wasn't necessarily doing it right. So when I've been doing this hyper arc method, I feel like I feel it so much more from my foot up to my calf and then into my glute. Like the more reps I do with it. Again, in the workouts coming that I'm posting later this week, I do a burnout, like just doing like it's like a square hop. So I jump forward, side, back, and then to the side, and then forward, back, and then just keep doing that. And literally that burnout was insane. Because I just like felt, like I said, I felt it from my foot to my ankle to my calf and then just like up to my glute. And like literally you feel your whole leg like lock up and just get super tight and literally like it's on fire. Hello said I don't lift because it just doesn't matter how much you lift. Yeah. So that's like another thing like people have asked me is like what my maxes are and stuff. And like I literally don't pay attention to my maxes at all. You know, maybe I might test it maybe like once in a while, but like I haven't tested in maybe like a year. So, and Hello said, trust me, don't lift and you'll get better. No weight needed. Yeah. So, I mean, so Hello, like you say like no weight is needed, but I mean, in terms of like increasing like your explosiveness or how much power you push into the ground, like, don't you feel like weight can kind of accelerate that? That's so like, you know, weight might not be needed, but like, again, do you think weight would kind of help that or again, like accelerate that process since you're adding weight? I mean, you're kind of, again, speeding that up. Because I've been getting so much better at like cleans, especially because I feel like that's such a power driven movement, like from the ground up or from the ground, but also like from the hang position up. So I've been really working on getting like my hang cleans better and just like really with all my lifts, focusing on driving from the ground and being as explosive as possible with them as if I was, you know, jumping or dunking or whatever. Because I feel like when you think about it mentally, you will do the lift so much differently. Like it'll feel the whole lift. I mean, to me at least, it feels so much different when I think about dunking or like when I envision dunking or when I just like mentally am applying what I'm doing to something. I feel like the lift or whatever I'm doing on the side of that, it becomes like so much more connected to the actual thing I'm training for, if that makes sense. So Halal said it's not how much force you can generate with your leg, it's how much elastic energy you are able to store. Right, so that's where the hyperarc method would come in and really benefit. That is the elastic energy. But I mean, there's been studies and stuff done on like weight training correlation with like increasing your vertical. So do you feel like those aren't really true, or have you just never like looked into those as much? Because like elastic energy, like since I've been looking into it, it's really important, but I feel like there's also a balance between like the elastic energy and including like weight training or mobility work or like whatever to like technique stuff with jumping. So I mean, I feel like there could be a balance with improving your elastic energy and also, you know, weightlifting or doing explosive type movements or mobility work or whatever it might be. So Gotta Aim said, yo, you should join a league. You mean like are you talking about like an intramural league or something? Because if that's what you're talking about, I have like a funny story to why I won't join one. So you said you should join a league, I think. Wait, when you say I think, were you talking about joining an intramural league? I mean, I'll just tell that story anyway because I'm gonna assume that that's what he's talking about. But so the reason I don't like playing any intramural leagues like right now or anything is because my 2 years ago, or what is it, like a year and a half ago, there was some point where I was training with dunking and everything, and I was in an intramural league, and I broke my elbow, and that kind of put me back like 7 months. And in that whole span, I mean, I'm blame myself for this because I just let I let the mental side of that get to me to where I just like wasn't training because I just felt like, oh, I have a broken elbow, I can't do anything. So I just like literally like felt bad for myself and just didn't really work out or do any type of, you know, stuff for my legs or anything, even though I just had a broken elbow. But yeah, so I was like not training or anything for like 6 months. I mean, I was doing like light stuff just to keep moving, but from that intramural league, breaking my elbow and being out that long, I just feel like it's not worth it. Like, and again, it like depends on people that are in the league and who you're playing with and stuff, because, you know, there might be some people who play like more reckless and don't really have, I don't know, I want to say like courtesy, but I mean, I'm sure you guys have like watched games and stuff. Like this is kind of like one of my like stronger opinions, and you guys could agree or whatever, but like, let me know what you guys think. When somebody's on like because this is how my elbow, this is how I broke my elbow. So I was on a fast break, and this guy like was chasing me down, and I went up, and then he jumped into me, and like all of like his whole body just came into me, and then I went down, and then he landed on top of me, and I was on my elbow, and that's how it broke. So I mean, I feel like if you guys like watch the NBA or whatever, when somebody's on a fast break, if the person chasing them down doesn't have a clean block, I feel like 90% of the time they just let them go. I mean, it might be more than that, but I don't feel like I've seen many like plays in the NBA or like higher level basketball where people are really trying to like take somebody down, or even if they don't have an angle or anything, they let them go if they have a fast break. So injuries like that don't happen. So I don't know. I don't know. That's like why I feel like I don't want to play in intramurals, because again, like just depends on who you're playing with and stuff. Like if risking that and then being out for 7 months, I don't know if that's worth it. So, and Hillel said, I mean, of course you got to have some base of strength, but it's not about how strong your quad is. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I completely agree with that. Like it doesn't matter like how do I say this? Like it doesn't matter. I mean, that's a whole different type of training when you're starting to think about, oh, like how strong is my quad? Like that's more like bodybuilding or powerlifting or that type of training. So and like functional training is so much different. Like since I've been really getting into it and just like trying to improve and find new workouts and new lifts and new things I could do to improve and everything, the type of training that goes into like functional training is so much different than just strength training. Because like Hillel said, it's not about how strong your quad is. I mean, that's why I said I don't think about my max. Like I don't think about necessarily like how much weight I could do for like this many reps or whatever. It's more about how I'm moving weight and like how I could apply what I'm doing to jumping. It's not so much about necessarily the weight that I'm doing, if that makes sense. But Gotta Aim said, quick question, does weight cause your height to decrease? Because I know a guy who lost 2 inches. I don't know like a definitive answer for that or a specific answer for that. I've never like heard of anybody personally who has lost whose height has decreased from weightlifting. I mean, I'm sure since you're like since you're shortening your muscles, that maybe you might lose like centimeters at most, maybe, but I've never heard of somebody losing 2 inches. That's crazy. So is that all he was doing, you feel like, was weight training and lost 2 inches? Have you guys been watching any of the college basketball stuff? I don't know if you guys like follow that. I haven't been really watching it, but I know it's like a thing right now. And Hillel said, I mean, I like the look at bodybuilder that has huge legs that can't jump more than 20 inches, and then look at LeBron in high school as a kid that probably didn't lift and he got a 40-inch vert like that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, and not to say that there aren't like power lifters or bodybuilders or whatever that can jump. It's just that majority of that is for like aesthetic appeal. So if you're not training to jump higher, then, you know, all those lifts are, you know, it's fine. Just if you're doing it for bodybuilding or whatever, that's cool. But there's like a whole different set of like training and lifestyle. I mean, literally, like, lifestyle is huge when it like comes to jumping. Like, I hate to sit for like long periods of time because I don't know, I just feel like I feel the need to just move around and like just not get locked up. So I mean, like, if I feel myself sitting too long, I'll literally just like stand up, like walk, like that'll be the time, like a little bit of food or something, just to like keep moving and stuff. But just like when I feel like I'm in a locked position, I don't, it doesn't feel comfortable. So God Aim said then became 5 foot. So he knew someone that was 5'6", and then he became like 5'4". That's crazy. Could it have possibly been like the surface he was standing on, or like his shoes, or something like that he lost 2 inches? Maybe like the second time he measured himself. And Hillel said, and not only LeBron, there are a lot of athletic people that never lift and are flying. Doesn't have to be a freak like LeBron. Yeah, I feel like a lot of it stems from like the type of the type of like athletic like movements you did, or I mean, like in your case, Hillel, like you're specifically just doing the hyper arc for running and stuff. So I feel like if people have just maybe subconsciously incorporated that when they were younger, like in their by playing sports a lot or whatever, by just like doing those type of movements, then they got stronger in that way. So it wasn't necessarily, like you said, it's not necessarily from lifting weights or anything. It's just from where their roots started, and then they just like built, like adapted to that way of moving, or that way of that way of training. So they already had that like elastic strength that you were talking about before. Not necessarily as much strength from actually lifting weights, but more from just being functional and moving. Because I mean, now I think about it, like, I feel like the weight training is more, like I said, it's more to like speed up the process that you would get from doing all those functional movements and stuff. So like Hillel said, it might not necessarily be like you might not necessarily have to do them. It would just take a longer period of time to maybe get to the results that you want. So I mean, weights, I mean, just like I've talked about, like vertical jump programs and stuff, like all that stuff, it's like a tool. It's a tool to like help you progress into, you know, like your next goal, or progress into jumping higher, or progress into running faster. But your body ultimately is the thing that's going to have to adapt to all that stress, or you know, those new movements or whatever that you're putting it under. So, you know, all those things are great to kind of help get you going, and then after that you just have to keep learning and adding new things if you want to keep testing your body and pushing towards like something you haven't necessarily got to yet. And Gotta Aim said, hey, I'm 4'6", do you think I could dunk? Well, no one's ever asked me that, but I'd hate to say no. I really would. I just feel like it would take, I'm just gonna give the answer that I would normally give to like these questions, because like I said, I hate to like put a stereotype or put a certain like way of thinking on, oh, if I'm this height, or if I'm, you know, this whatever, that, you know, I can't jump. I mean, just because there hasn't been anybody who is 4'6" that could dunk, that doesn't mean it's not possible. Like, it would just take an insane amount of like force development and like elastic energy, like we've been talking about, strength, agility. Like, it would just take, I feel like it would just take like a heightened amount of that has maybe never been seen before. So I'm not gonna say that like that you can't dunk. I just feel like it would take in like an unseen amount of all that stuff that I just said. Okay, you're 5'7". Funny. I think you just wanted to hear me say that answer. But no, if you're 5'7", I mean, I'm dunking now, so I mean, definitely if you're 5'7", it could happen, because I mean, I've seen it. I do it. So Hello said you can do it. It's just got to be a 70-inch vertical. Yeah. So yeah, that's where it's like right there. It's, I mean, even if you were 4'6", like don't take that as a limit. So like when I thought, oh, I'm 5'7", and there's, you know, there's not that many people out there that you can look at. They're like, oh, 5'7". I'm gonna train like this person to dunk who is also 5'7". Like there's really not that many people out there I mean, in like my case, that I could have like looked at to be like, oh, like there's this many people I could train from. There's this many people I can see how they did it. Like it was more of just a mental game with me, and I had to kind of overcome that before even like starting anything else. So I mean, there's a 5'5" dunker named Porter Mayberry who got his first dunk when he was 19. His name's Heart Over Height on Instagram. He got his first dunk when he was 19, and he's in a movie. Like I think his movie just came out today. It's called like Slam a Jammer or something. And I think getting your first dunk at 19, like a lot of people like probably would say that's too late to even like start. And like I talked about this in like my day one workout that I posted, or day two. Somebody in the bathroom at my gym that works there, he was like talking about like there's two different sections in the gym I work out at. There's like a weight training area, but then there's like the functional turf area that I work out at. And he was like saying, oh, like, do you like that area and stuff? And I was saying like, yeah, it's like a playground to me. And he's like, yeah, I kind of stay away from the area because I'm getting too old or whatever, or I don't want to be seen in that area. And it just like made me think, like right there, that is setting a limit. Like that is like the instant that you think like that, the instant that mindset comes in, then whatever goal you want to see happen is either A, not going to happen, or it's going to seem like it's just super impossible, or it's going to be that much harder to reach. So like I said, it just comes with creating the mindset and telling yourself that you could do it, and then overcoming that, and and accepting no limits after that. And don't really, and know that the excuses are there, like know that the negativity is there, know that there's stereotypes, know that there's going to be people who are going to say you can't do it, know that you're going to tell yourself you can't do it, but that doesn't mean you just quit. So yeah. Gotta Aim said, yo, you should collaborate with Jay Ruth. Were you talking about Jay Duth? Because Gotta Aim, I actually did his low rim dunk contest, and he ended up posting a video of my first in-game dunk on his channel, which is pretty cool. But we never like collaborated in person. Yeah. I think it'd be cool to collaborate with anyone on YouTube, or like anybody in general, because I mean it's just cool to like again, like just doing these live streams, like it's cool to hear from you guys and hear from your experiences and stuff, and hear you guys' feedback and everything. So like, I think it'd be cool to collaborate with anybody who would want to. So I mean, it would help both of us. Like I could see like kind of what stuff they do, or they could see stuff I do, and we could just do it. So normally on these live stream days, I don't think I've ever said this, but normally on these live stream days, right after I go do a dunk session, and I've been kind of wondering if that's the best thing to do, because doing these live streams, I'm sitting for like the duration of the live stream. So I actually thought about that before this live stream. I was like, I wonder if it'd be better to do the dunk session like before the live stream instead of after. But I like to go kind of later when there's not as many people at the gym. And today, since there's like college basketball and stuff on, I'm just gonna go when hopefully there's no one there. So Gotta Aim said, if you can't go to a gym, where should you practice? Are you talking about for jumping or dunking or basketball? Like what kind of practice are you talking about? Because I mean, you could literally practice anywhere. Like for jumping, like I've done stuff in my room before. Like if I can't make it to the gym or something, or I just feel like working on whatever, like I've done like the box, like the 4 to dunk. Okay. I mean, again, like to specifically dunk, or I mean, if there's like a park or anything around where you are, then that'd be something you could do. But if you're just training like your foot, you could train your footwork and stuff like in your room, like pretty easy. Like I was saying, I've done like line hops, I guess you could say, or like the box hops where I just jump in like a square movement. Like I've done that in my room just to like kind of warm up my feet and just do some type of technique work and exercise in my room. I've done like burpees in my room. I've jumped over a chair in my room in a video, but that was just for fun. But I mean, if you're trying to find somewhere to train to dunk, like honestly, that's something I kind of have a little trouble with, because if I get caught at the gym that I go to, I can get kicked out. So I've been trying to find like a new gym. I see a lot of people dunk at like LA Fitness and stuff, so I might go there. I don't know where you guys are from, but like here, I find that it's kind of hard to find a gym that actually allows you to do it. Probably because it's like a liability issue. I don't know. But to dunk, like I said, you go to a park or just like even outside, jumping. I feel like if you really don't want to work on dunking, you don't have like a basketball hoop or anything. Just like work on jumping at something that's high enough to where you can't reach it, but it's not, you know, so high where it's like, okay, this is ridiculous to jump at. Just jump at something that's higher than a basketball hoop that you could potentially touch sometime. So that way you're pushing yourself to jump to that height. You're pushing yourself to jump harder, and like that'll also kind of transfer into your dunking whenever you go back to jumping on like a court or whatever. If yes spells Y-E-S, what does E-Y-E-S spell? I don't know. Gotta aim. What are you trying to say there? So I just want to ask you guys, have you seen any of the workouts that I've posted on my channel lately? He said it's a question. If yes spells Y-E-S, what does E-Y-E-S spell? Eyes? Is that what you're trying to say? So actually, right before I got on this live stream, somebody messaged me on Instagram. So I'm just going to open that because he said that he wanted to show me something, but I didn't get to see the full thing because I was about to start this. So I'm just going to see what he said really quick. Good job. By the way, it's on World Star question. And then somebody else on my Instagram, Noah Turk, he was asking me about like different jump program stuff, and he was asking me about like Flight Right and stuff I've done before. And he actually started Vert Shock, so I've been like following him and seeing. I asked him to let me know like how it goes, because even though I haven't done a lot of these jump programs, like I like to learn about all of them to see, you know, like what they include, and also like how people how people do with them. Because I mean, like I've talked about before, I mean, it's a great tool to do these jump programs. It's a great way to start into your jumping. But ultimately, I feel like when you want to reach a point where you're like getting to a level that those jump programs might. All right, see you later. Gotta aim. Thank you for joining the live stream, by the way. I feel like when you do these jumping programs, like it's a great tool and stuff, but when you want to like get to a point that these jump programs can't take you to, it's kind of hard to accept, or it's kind of hard to accept that like, okay, I'm here now, but like, how do I get to the next level without the jumping program? Because, you know, you might feel like you're plateauing or whatever. So that's where I feel like your own research and stuff has to come in. Like I know I've said this before, but I feel like that's where your own research has to come in, and that's where you really have to start digging into things that might seem kind of obscure, like stuff you've never looked into before. Like with Hillel recommending the hyperarc method, like that's something I would never probably, I mean, I can't say never, but something I would not have come across like anytime soon, at least like the way I was going with stuff. Like I would never have come across it anytime soon. And, you know, with looking into that brought me into looking more into like the importance of like tendons and jumping. That brought me into like looking at animal videos of how they jump, like kangaroos, and and these other animals who have like who jump the highest out of like any animals, like just their structure and like how they look and like the movements they do. So I mean, like just little things like that. Like if you, it's so crazy. Like you can learn one new thing, and that one new thing can take you into learning 100 new things, and then those 100 new things take you to learn like hundreds more new things. So I mean, it's just, that's why like I loved again doing these live streams, because if I learn like, you know, one new thing, that one new thing could branch off into like endless new things. So, and actually when I just got back from spring break, I talked to the kinesiology professor here, and I'm going to be doing a vertical jump testing in a lab here at my school in about 2 weeks, probably 2 or 3 weeks. So that'll be really cool. I hope I can record some of it to get it up on my channel so you guys could see it, because we're going to do some like force testing, like max vertical, just like cool stuff like that, just to get some feedback and see kind of where I'm at. And then, you know, just take those numbers and kind of learn from them and play with them and see how I could improve them down the line. But Tyler said, hello, don't underestimate the power of strength training though. Take me, for example, I'm 230 pounds and a couple inches from the rim, but my squat max is 340, roughly 1.5 times the body weight. If it were lower, I doubt I could jump as high. Yeah, so like that, I mean, that's an interesting point, because I mean, this is like stuff I've read in like articles and like just heard from other people, is that football players tend to have higher verticals than basketball players. And I feel like a lot of that is strength development. But I mean, it could also be, you know, tendon development and all that, and elasticity development, just from like the way they move and stuff. But like, it just seems like strength plays a role. But I mean, I think Tyler Hillel was saying like it doesn't matter how strong like your quad is. So like it doesn't matter how strong one specific body part is. Like it doesn't matter if you could curl this much weight. But like in your case, you might have like great overall strength to be able to transfer that into your like elastic strength and then apply like more force to the ground in order to jump higher. I mean, maybe there's like a connection like that. But yeah, I think Hillel was just kind of saying it doesn't matter it doesn't matter that one single body part might be this strong, or that you can like lift this number, this much weight, you know, as a specific number or whatever. I'm just gonna go back to that, the question on my Instagram or the message, because I didn't really even get to talk about that yet. Hey, Noah just said, I didn't open his message yet, but Noah, the one that I just said, he did the Vert Shock program, or he's doing the Vert Shock program. He said he likes it a lot, and if he's making gains with it, and he dunked his first small ball today. So that's pretty cool. Congratulations, Noah, if you see this. But just that's like a great point to start at, is if you're trying to dunk, or, you know, if you're at the rim, just start with like a smaller ball. Start with something that you can, you know, I feel like it's like, again, it's like a mental reiteration of just like throwing a ball through the hoop. So if you're dunking like if you're touching the rim, then just start dunking with a small ball until like you can forcefully dunk a small ball, and then, you know, start maybe with like a volleyball or a girl's ball, or whatever, to work your way up to an actual basketball, and then just start practicing with that. And there's gonna be so much time that goes into just clanging the ball against the back of the rim or against the backboard or whatever. But, you know, those thousands of times that you're going to clang the ball against the back of the rim, it's going to be worth it when you start to actually like flush an actual basketball just consistently. And that's, you know, that's the point I'm really trying to get at, is being more consistent with like off the dribble dunks and stuff. My lob is definitely getting better. Like the timing has been really good, especially on days where I feel like really light and explosive. Like I feel like I could get almost like any lob when I'm, you know, when I have like a good jumping day and stuff. So it's just about improving the weaknesses to improve your strengths even more, and then have those weaknesses become strengths, and then keep building from there. So that's really cool that Noah got his first dunk with a small ball today. That's cool. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end this live stream soon. Again, I said I'm gonna go do a dunk session today. Next week, I'm gonna go back into the experiments. I might do the dunking after playing basketball. So see how that goes. If not, it's gonna be one of the 3 that I talked about to do at the beginning, or the 4 like meditate. I did the food ones, and then there was the sleep. And then I said the dunking after playing basketball. So I'm gonna be doing some new experiment next week. And again, and if you guys saw the new dunk progress video, those are gonna be just like the May dunks I had, and then the experiments that I post are gonna be like the raw dunk sessions, just from like stuff I did that day, and then me just kind of going through what I did and talk about how that affected my dunking. And then at the end of this month, or like after 4, 5, or 3 full experiment weeks or whatever, I'm gonna do like an analysis of the previous weeks and then talk more about that and how it affected me and like where I felt optimal doing the dunk sessions. So yeah, I'm gonna end the live stream here today. I want to thank you guys again for joining the live stream and for all you guys' comments and stuff. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next workout video if you guys see that, or I'll see you guys in the next live stream. So see you guys later. And accept no limits. All right, see you guys.